The US presidential elections. On our Telegram Kumekucha forum, and even in Club 1999, it has gotten so emotional that I can say without doubt that this is an issue that has divided Kumekuchans right down the middle. And indeed, even here, in YouTube comments to videos on this issue. One side is, of course, pro-Joe Biden, and the other side seems to understand the full ramifications, consequences of Trump losing these presidential elections. And I guess that would have been okay had this been an ordinary presidential election, like all the others. This would have been okay, very okay, had we not been in the season we are in right now. I keep on saying on this channel, emotions are dangerous. They're of course human. If you're a human being, you must have emotions. However, there are situations in this life where if you allow your emotions to rule you, then it becomes dangerous. And I've used that word with care. The word dangerous. Since the days of President Jimmy Carter, I have always been a firm Democrat. I have never, ever supported a Republican. Even though I greatly admired President Ronald Reagan, a Republican. In 1984, I rooted for former Vice President Walter Mondale to defeat him. I have never been a GOP man, Grand Old Party. That's the nickname for the Republican Party in the United States. In 2016, I was so bitterly disappointed when my late political lecturer's candidate, Hillary Clinton, lost to Donald Trump. And I really had to control my emotions when a certain German man who used to be in the diplomatic service here in Kenya some years back, and is married to a Kenyan, when he tried to explain to me the reason why Trump had won, and he was obviously a Trump supporter. It took a huge effort to control my emotions. And I said to myself, this man must be a racist, just like Trump. Of course, conveniently ignoring the fact that he has married in the house of Mumbi, right here in Kenya, black African. But you see, that's what emotions do to you. They make you blind. And this German friend of mine made things worse when he started explaining to me how migrants are messing up Germany. Actually, illegal immigrants. I am telling you all this so that you ask yourself the question, how was Kumekucha Chris turned? Was he bribed? Did he receive a brown envelope from Donald Trump? Actually, what happened is that somebody who is more than a boss to me, much more, sent people to talk to me and to tell me, Chris, tuliza boli. This is what is happening. And if you want to continue going against the will of the one who raised you and called you, then shauri yako. And these people who were sent to me educated me. And of course I did my own research and my eyes were opened. And for the first time, I realized what was happening. And then the Wuhan virus came. Yeah. And it was confirmed beyond any doubt what was happening. And then the current presidential elections have unfolded, reconfirming precisely what is happening, without doubt. Now, I'm keenly aware of the fact that many who take in this channel are not spiritual, and they have absolutely no interest in ever being spiritual. But unfortunately, that does not change the facts. And today I pray that their eyes too will be opened, the way mine were. And it starts with leaving your emotions out of it and reasoning, using your brains, that wonderful computer between your ears that God Almighty gifted us with. Isn't it just amazing how the smartest people in the world can be reduced to nothing by something called emotions, so that they stubbornly refuse to see what is unfolding right under their noses, right before their very eyes? Massive rigging is happening in the United States. Fraud is going down, but they refuse to let their brains do its work for them. Chris, that can never happen in the US. This is not Kenya. You don't understand the US. Stick to Kenyan politics. Otherwise, you're going to make a fool of yourself. Be careful, Chris. You'll mess your credibility. You know, all this reminds me of what happened once with my political lecturer in the year 2008. The whole family was gathered, my brothers and their wives, their children, everybody. And my political lecturer was listening keenly as I explained to him the latest information from this new contact of mine in the United States. And there is a huge chance that she's listening in to this particular video. And she had been giving me very accurate information on the primaries towards the 2008 presidential elections. And I already knew that my political lecturer was not going to be pleased with the information I was giving him, because he had just finished reading My Life by Bill Clinton, a biography, a very candid biography. And I knew he was very tickled because he kept on repeating the story about the first time the two had spoken in college. Hillary walked up to Bill and introduced herself. And I knew my political lecturer was rooting for Hillary to win the presidency. At that time, the nomination for the Democratic Party presidential candidate had not yet been decided. And when I finished speaking, my political lecturer did something that floored me. He decided to play to the gallery. And right there in front of everybody, he said to me, "It doesn't matter what your contacts are saying. Have you ever been to the United States? Do you know the United States like I do? I have been there several times, including one time that I went to have my shoes polished in New York. And when I sat down and lifted up the bottom of my trousers from my shoes to expose the black color, very black color of my skin, the shoe shine man turned away in disgust. I am telling you, I know America. They can never elect a black man. Hillary Clinton is going to be the very first female president of the United States of America. Nakwambia, iliuma. Iliuma tena sana. Right there in front of everybody. Especially in front of the wife of a certain kid brother of mine, who even giggled Ay, 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 yeah. But you know what happened? You know who was proved right and who was proved wrong. And my political lecturer lived to witness 2 whole years of the Obama presidency. He passed on in January 2011. Looking back today, I believe I was still being thoroughly trained on how to handle these issues and these situations. I was being trained to ensure that before I open my mouth to speak, I should always make sure and I double confirm that my ducks are in a row. And when somebody rubbishes me, rubbishes what I have said, so much so that it cuts through my heart, I was being trained on how to handle it. Keep quiet, hold my peace, and let time be the judge. You know, we never discussed that incident with my late political lecturer, ever. In our African custom, you never challenge your father. How? Although the last time I saw him alive, we differed in opinion. Yeah, and this one was critical. Looking back, I wish I had challenged him. Because he was wrong, he was not seeing. And it cost him his life. Maybe if I had challenged him for once, he would have been alive today, witnessing what his student, his political student, has become. Anyway, now you understand why you're very welcome to rubbish what I say. And you know part of the reason why I have a thick skin. You know, in the previous video, I mentioned about a book I did 7 years ago. And many people rubbished it. But recently, just a few days ago, when somebody gave themselves up to the ICC, it has become relevant, very relevant, again. And it has stood the test of time. And once again, I have that great feeling that I had, so many years ago when I was proved correct over my political lecturer. Anyway, my sincere apologies for digressing. These American presidential elections are not normal elections. No way. There's something much bigger. And it's not entertainment either. Because the results will have a huge impact on you and me. And indeed on the entire globe. And it is very important. Trust me. Extremely critically important. So please, open your eyes and observe for yourself what is going down. Let's leave out the spiritual for now. And start by appreciating the fact that Donald Trump is the first president in the history of the United States to be elected who is outside the system. And that is why the system has rejected him. And that is why the system is so desperate to get rid of him. So desperate that people are willing to rig the American presidential elections. How do you explain the total number of votes cast in a state being higher than the registered voters in that state? And surprise, surprise, they still will not talk about that in the mainstream media. Open your eyes. Put your emotions aside for a minute. This is bigger than the particular candidate you're supporting. Much bigger. And good people on both sides of the political divide should be able to call out fraud when they see it. Or maybe what you want to tell me is that you don't mind seeing your candidate winning fraudulently. As long as your man wins, ni sawa tu. Well, all I can say is take it from a man who has been a Democrat for many more years than most of you have been Democrats. Yeah, take it from me. This is no ordinary presidential election.
Today I would like to point you to one of the most fascinating videos on this channel. It is about the military brilliance of a Kenyan tribe that outsmarted the colonial government for over a decade. Oh yes, I said over a decade. Use the link now appearing at the top of your screens. The same link is also repeated in the description area below. And please hit that red button and subscribe to this channel, if you are not yet a subscriber. Thanks so much for watching.
Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.